Hey everybody, I'm getting some sort of itch. The itch to play The Sims. But it's more of a cartoony art style, and you do building quests to help other citizens, maybe with a medieval or agent gimmick, and sometimes it's a party, racing, or aircraft game. So basically a forgotten Wii series with The Sims name. Ah! Ow! Was that really necessary?
While The Sims was decently popular when it released in 2000, it wasn't until The Sims 2 in 2004 when the series really hit the mainstream. The Sims was quickly becoming a big name in the gaming industry. EA knew the series had potential, so they started to branch out. Console ports, expansions, console ports of those expansions, and on September 18th, 2007, the first spin-off in the Sims series released, My Sims.
As someone who doesn't own a single normal Sims game but owns every single My Sims game, these games fascinate me. They're such an interesting facet in EA's history. The series was doing so well and then just died out of nowhere. It's obvious that the series is still on EA's mind with the release of the Cozy Bundle, including the first two games back in November 2024, which I do not have at this moment. While it was just a basic re-release of those two games, it still gives a little hope for a new game in the series, but until then, let's just go through the entire series we have now.
The original My Sims is very basic. The plot is that there was once a wandalier who ran this big town and built buildings and furniture for the townsfolk. But when he left, or died, the town was left on its own, causing people to move away and the town being a shell of what it was. Until a new wandalier moved in to save the town. And who is that savior? Well, it's you! After a very long tutorial from the mayor teaching you how to build items and collect essences to paint side creations, you're off to do whatever the hell. You fully control your character in this game, moving, building, and that's it. Yep, not even a jump button. They really want to make this as accessible as possible. Every day, a citizen will give you a quest to build something or collect essences, and occasionally, a new resident will show up in the hotel run by Buddy. Trust me, he'll be important later. You can create a building that'll fit the new resident's style and they'll move in. The essences in this game are surprisingly important since almost every quest needs a certain one. You can get them from shaking trees, fishing, talking to residents, pretty much anything. These characters are very one-sided. Their entire personalities are based off of one gimmick. Poppy likes flowers, DJ Candy is, well, a DJ, Gino is a chef, etc. It's not really a problem in this game, it's just something I'm pointing out now. And that's My Sims. Well, there's not much to do. It works well as a pop-in for 20 minutes and see what's going on game. This game hit it big with the casual market. This game had everything a typical Wii player needed. A simple art style, basic but reliable gameplay style, flirting. It was destined to succeed. It got decent reviews and it sold nearly 4 million copies in the first 6 months. So just 1 year later, we got My Sims Kingdom on October 28th, 2008. Just in time for Halloween.
Wonder what was up with that guy.
This game actually has a story. The game starts with your mother, caretaker, lover. Either way, they don't seem to be very good at any of them, yelling at you to round up the pigs because every medieval bitch has pigs for some reason. After that, Buddy comes in to tell you about this contest happening. I told you it'd be important later. Oh yeah, there's also Lindsay, I guess. You know how you were the wandalier in this last game? In this one, there's a contest being held in this depressing-ass castle, which will decide the next wandalier, with the second place prize being a toaster oven.
Man, screw being this game's equivalent to God. I want that damn toaster oven.
The contest is just a glorified tutorial. It teaches you how building works with normal blocks, houses, now being able to decorate the interiors alongside the exterior instead of having to do them separately, and gears, which are new to this game. If gears are attached to a generator, they'll start spinning. Connecting gears to certain objects will cause them to power on. These are the main gimmick to some pretty interesting puzzles throughout the game. Essences make a return, but in this game they're used to unlock new building blocks to place in the world. Oh yeah, you can build anywhere to solve puzzles in this game, but put like the largest asterisk ever on anywhere. The places where you can place objects are very limited. You're allowed to put whatever you want in these areas, but they make it pretty obvious what they want you to put there. Oh, so jumping is finally a thing now.
I didn't know they could do it.
The game is split up into many different islands. Every time you finish the main quest in one, you're given 1 or 2 more that open up. This game gives you a decent amount of freedom in the order you tackle the islands, which is pretty nice. A lot of the islands are inhabited by characters that could move into your island from the first game, which is pretty neat. The main problem with the islands is that they don't feel real. All areas in them are set up in a way that feels so game-like. I know that sounds stupid considering this is a game, but I wish the developers were able to make these places feel lived in. This game hit it big when it released. It did pretty well with scores, and it even got nominated for Best Simulation Game by IGN. EA knew they had something good on their hands, so only 6 months later, we got My Sims Party on March 10th, 2009. This was the first game in the series to branch out from the traditional formula, this one being a party game.
Holy really?
There's a f***ing lunatic and her monkey in town, and they're forcing everyone to participate in a party. There's about 12 different parties you can participate in, each having a different series of minigames. Any minigame you play in those you can unlock in the free play mode. I currently only have about 15 minigames unlocked because I don't like this game that much. The minigames are perfectly respectable, but that's it. It's just the minigames. There's no board mode like Mario Party, there's no extra modes. The only extra thing you get is being able to decorate a town from items you get from the parties, and it's completely pointless. One thing I like about this game though is that you can unlock characters from previous games as playable characters in the minigames. It shows that they still at least cared a little. Yeah, there's not much to say about this game. It's a perfectly respectable Wii minigame collection, but it's not something I willingly whip out when playing with friends. Carnival Games is right there. This game wasn't really received that well, but that didn't stop EA, because a mere 3 months later, we got My Sims Racing on June 12th, 2009. In a world where racing takes over all, and people are only seen as how good they are at driving, you exist. And you want to race. That's it. We got this old guy named Gabby who teaches us the tricks of racing and helps us rise the ranks. He's kind of a dick. Pretty much whenever you talk to him, he finds some way to insult you or make a witty remark. He seems like the type of elder to give up his useless medications and then die a week later. You got your basic accelerating and turning and drifting, but the drifting is pretty different in this game than in, for example, Mario Kart. First of all, it controls like ass, and second, instead of building up a speed boost and having it activate as soon as the drift's over, while drifting, collecting these little items on the track, getting airtime, or bumping off opponents, this boost meter fuels up and you can use it at any time. It's nothing crazy, but it's a good way to differentiate the gameplay a bit. Like My Sims Party, you're able to play as different characters throughout the My Sims franchise, which isn't that insane, but it's a nice way to get our buddy fix for the game. In this game, you get to build your own vehicle. You can't jack up all the stats and leave your enemy in the dust, it's just shape and decoration. This game makes an interesting decision with the Grand Prix mode. The first cup, the Town Cup, only has 2 tracks, but every cup gains 1 track. The Greenwood Cup has 3 tracks, the Snowy Cup has 4, and the Ultimate Cup has 5, with a grand total of 14 tracks. Chili Hill Village, Sugar Rush Speedway, Crater Lake, Tumbleweed Track, Bayou Boardwalk, Gopher Gulch, Crescendo Clues, Sunset Slalom, Tree Logger Trail, Misty Motorway, Darkwood Falls, Dr. S, Daredevil Drive, Pinball Canyon, Mount Shivrest. Overall, this was a very respectable racing game, but it's obviously not a substitute for Mario Kart. This game wasn't a big hit either. While it reviewed alright, it didn't sell all that well. At this time, the series was pretty much running on whether or not this next game did well, because another 3 months later, My Sims Agents released on September 29th, 2009. This game brings back the typical My Sims gameplay we know and love from the original in Kingdom, but with a more straightforward story and much more linear gameplay. The game starts with you and your comic-loving best friend Buddy, told you to be important later, as a ragtag detective duo. You start with solving some basic cases around the town until eventually you catch the attention of a famous detective agency and they hire you. Then you get your own headquarters and you're able to explore new places like the mountains, the industrial district, and somewhere else. I haven't played enough to unlock it. The headquarters is very important for most parts of the game. You can hire My Simians from the series, and before you leave for a case, you can set a group of people out on a smaller case. Throughout your own case, you'll get text messages updating you about their case, and occasionally you'll have to make a decision, and depending on the decisions you make, the case can either succeed or fail. This is a very interesting gameplay feature and makes the duller parts of the game more fun. There's also some tools that introduce us to some new mini-games that we play throughout the game. These mini-games aren't anything special, but they aren't too intrusive and they're a good way to make the gameplay more interesting. The main villain of this game is this guy called Morcubus, owner of Morcucorp, which runs pretty much everything. It's probably some message on corporate greed and power or whatever. The main gameplay loop is you run into someone who's experiencing a problem, and you explore the area trying to find clues to solve said problem. This might sound like it would get repetitive and boring, but it works really well. One of my favorite parts about this game is that it's pretty much everything in the environment can be interacted with and has unique interaction dialogue. I also love just how packed with stuff each area is. These both make this game just feel so alive. Every environment feels lived in. Most characters are from previous games, but they still feel a little different. Their personalities aren't completely one-sided now. They're still pretty basic, but they feel more like real people. Apparently this game ends with a cliffhanger that was going to be concluded in the sequel, My Sims Agents 2, before it was ultimately scrapped. I haven't beaten this game, so I haven't seen the ending. Don't completely take my word for it. Take this Reddit user's word. Everything about this game just feels like the old games but better. The movement is as smooth as it's ever been, the environment is super well done, and the story, while simple, is still interesting and fun to uncover. This is easily my favorite game in the series, and apparently, I'm not alone. This game was the highest rated in the series. EA was originally going to keep pumping these games out fast with the aforementioned My Sims Agents 2. They ended up canceling it sometime in early 2010. They wanted something new, something built from the ground up. So on September 28th, 2010, almost exactly 1 year later, we got My Sims Sky Heroes. EA had high hopes for this game. This won't even be the only one released on the Xbox 360 and PS3. EA really believed in this one.
This sucks.
So what, did the EA dev that pitched this just go,
Okay, so, you know My Sims, right? That stupid series we just make for money. So we made those first two, and, you know, people like those ones. Yeah. And then we made those, party and the racing games. People did not like those. So then, we made that agent one. And then people really like that one. So maybe we would just do another one based off the agent or the My Sims Kingdom or those ones, but wrong! We're putting them in the Air Force!
this game isn't good. The game starts with you washing up on some random island and someone just walks up to you and pretty much goes, "Congratulations on not dying. We're gonna make you fight for your life in the skies now. Oh, you can't fly? It's okay. We'll just teach you by hiring a bunch of people that gun you down. Good luck." You very quickly learn how to control the plane and introduced to the two main level types, fighting enemies and racing. Is this game secretly the coveted My Sims Racing 2? Somehow this game is even worse turning controls than racing, and the gameplay is so repetitive. All you do is fight and race over and over and over. There's no change in the gameplay, yet it always feels like a switch is right around the corner. Playing this game is like the definition of insanity. My Sims Agents had a bit of a darker theme, but it still retained the series' goofy and fun nature. This game is so serious for no reason. It's trying so hard to be cool, like when the rest of the series isn't sweeter than grandma's cookies. Oh yeah, we can't forget about the fact that no characters from the first 5 games show up. Buddy has been a major character since the start and they just f***ing shafted him? Bullshit! Now it's time for the list of positives.
It's empty.
There's nothing good about this game. It's just some boring cash grab that doesn't even feel like it's from the same series. This was sadly the final My Sims game. In late 2010, EA decided they wanted to move the Sims series in a different direction and My Sims had no part of it. This game had alright reviews and there were other games planned, but those were cancelled and the series slowly fell into obscurity. Except for the Cozy Bundle, we haven't gotten any new games since.
And that was the My Sims series on Wii. Oh, you thought we were done? Oh no, we still need to play the DS versions, which I'm playing on my perfectly legal Nintendo DS on my perfectly legal copies of the game.
Listen, you gotta understand that I really did not want to buy all these games twice. My Sims DS. This is just the Wii game, but worse. It's from a top-down perspective this time, which is kinda interesting. The main gameplay loop is very similar, same kind of building and moving and residence stuff. This game looks awful, everyone has the same dead expression on their face, and the art style is just bleh. The area you get to explore is a bit smaller too, not like the original game had that big of a map. While we're here, I might as well talk about the mobile phone version of this game. No, not the ports of the Cozy Bundle versions of this game in Kingdom for Apple Arcade. This version. This version was released on Java phones on December 3rd, 2008. I might have been able to play this game for a few minutes if I had no sense of suspicion. The only download I was able to find of this game was from this super sketchy website, and I don't want to risk it. Which I am perfectly fine with, this game looks absolutely awful. My Sims Kingdom DS is the exact same thing as the first DS game with a slightly different premise. It barely even has a medieval style either, just a basic life sim like the first one. It does have a way nicer art style though. My Sims Party DS is exactly the same as the Wii game premise-wise, but the mini-games are changed to use the touch controls. This isn't fun. My Sims Racing DS is actually pretty interesting. The story mode has an actual hub to explore, and visually it's very impressive for the DS. The racing itself is pretty boring though. The course designs are a lot simpler, and there's only 6 racers instead of 8, making it less chaotic, which is something I kinda liked with the Wii game. My Sims Agents DS disappointed me. You just walk around these small maps talking to NPCs and hoping they have a case for you, and if they do, it's just a stupid minigame. What a damn downgrade. My Sims Sky Heroes DS is everything about the Wii game but worse. Worse controls, worse story, and way worse visuals. God, this game is ugly.
There we go, that's all the DS games. But we're still not done. We need to talk about the canceled games.
We already talked about My Sims Agents 2, but there's 4 others here. My Sims Friends was meant to release on the 3DS near its launch, but was ultimately scrapped because EA decided that the Sims brand didn't need My Sims. It was meant to go back to the series' roots and be more simulation-based. There's going to be a My Sims themed MMO where you could build towns with other people online. It was meant to release in 2009, but was cancelled for unknown reasons. My Sims Worlds was a prototype name given to a game that never survived past pre-production. This was meant to be a big change for the series, completely changing the art style. Many believe elements from this game were used in Agents and Sky Hero, since concept art depicts environments similar to those seen in those games. Finally, we have My Sims Sports, which was very early in development before being cancelled for the same reason as Friends. We didn't even know about this game's existence until 2019, when this piece of concept art was revealed by someone who worked for EA, alongside revealing that a sports game was in development. I want to say a special thank you to the My Sims fandom wiki. I wouldn't have known nearly as much about these cancelled games without it. Wait, what the hell is My Sims Camera?
My camera works fine, I don't know why I need a My Sims one.
Apparently there's 2 more games I had no idea about until writing this very part of the script. My Sims Camera was a very basic DSiWare application where you take photos and you slap on My Sims characters as well as drawing on the photo. My Sims Puzzle Party was a Java phone puzzle game only released in South Korea on January 20th, 2010. This game is sadly now considered lost media, but there is a video showing off all 6 minigames. Trevor's Stunt Stage, where you collect gems in a maze, DJ Candy's Grab Bag, where you create music by destroying connecting blocks, Mel's Haunted House, Candy Crush before it even existed, Chef Gino's Treasure Hunt, getting Gino from point A to point B while avoiding ghosts, Dr. F's Secret Experiment, organizing some color capsules, so basically Puyo Puyo, and Poppy's Pretty Flower Box, a Tetris clone with flowers. Apparently at some point there's a giveaway where people could win prizes.
There, I talked about the puzzle party, am I done? God damn it.
We already talked about the Cozy Bundle, but there are 2 other collections released for the Wii and DS respectively. My Sims Collection Wii was released on November 9th, 2010, including the original My Sims and My Sims Racing. Then there's My Sims Collection DS, which release date was unknown since it only released in the Netherlands of all places. This version included My Sims Kingdom and My Sims Party. I find it interesting that these go under the same name, even though they include completely different games.
There, I talked about the Wii games, the DS games, the canceled games, the collections, the camera, and the damn puzzle party. I'm done! Oh god, here we go again. You know what? No! I'm getting to the bottom of this. God, what the hell is going on down there?
Who are you? Why are you making me play shitty pinball?
Let me introduce myself. I am your biggest hater.
Your life is so depressing, you go through all the effort to hate me of all people?
Oh, it wasn't always like this. I was once your biggest fan. I remember watching your retro Nintendo videos when I was a wee lad.
I haven't even been around for 2 years yet.
The point I'm trying to make is that you've changed. You were a Nintendo guy. Now you're making videos on PlayStation, movies, a damn album review. I was sick of it. I hacked into your mind with this doohickey.
So you were that guy that shot me with the device before I wanted to play Star Race FX.
That was me, alright.
Okay, first of all, My Sims is not a Nintendo franchise. Second of all, I've never really done retro Nintendo specific stuff. I mean, the first big video I made was a damn Dora game. And also, am I just not allowed to branch off at all?
know, and it seems like I have to take care of you myself.
Well, that was easy. What do I do now? Wow! Could you believe for the past month I've been controlled by some random dude in my basement? At least he made me play good games before I found out about him. I couldn't fathom talking about any of pinball for 5 minutes. But hey, if that guy was still alive, he'd at least be a little happy, because the Nintendo Switch 2 is about to turn a year old, and I need to talk about my experience with the console. It was bad. Mario Tennis fever gave me hepatitis.